Don't ask me how I know this, but automatically moving to Atlanta does not automatically make you a rapper. When I was 19, I had the bright idea with no plan to move down to Atlanta by myself to become this superstar rapper, right? I could see it. Ever since the day I was 16, I was gonna crowd surf, I was gonna tour the world, I was gonna get into a famous rap beef and pay millions in child support. Perfect. But then 7 years went by, I hadn't been anywhere, I performed mostly for myself in the mirror. I was single, no baby mamas. Ate some beef, didn't really get into one, and I had 2 degrees in a field I didn't like, doing things I never wanted to do, with a resume packed full of experiences that had nothing to do with music. Life of a rock star, right? With bills piling up and things to do, I knew what I had to do. I had to tuck my tail between my legs and go back home to Maryland and figure out what the heck I was gonna do. So I left. I got back home and I hit the pavement hard. I performed on social media, worked dead-end jobs, recorded, wrote music, was dancing all over the internet. For 3 years, nothing happened. Enter my mother. She comes into the room as she always does. I hear that music you're making. I don't know what you're saying, but I think it sounds really good. You keep going, son. But underneath that smile, she was getting worried. Here I am, this rapper, living at the house, bartending, doing everything under the sun, but stuff wasn't working and I could tell she knew it. I love my mother for that, but I knew she'd wake up every day nervous. And it was unfortunate because for me, music was more than just something I did. It was my calling, and I knew it. It was what I used to express myself, how I dealt with the world, how I story told and owned my own vulnerability. It wasn't just something I did, it was who I was. And the thought of not making it in that, I couldn't fathom. And to be honest, I didn't think too much about it. Because what did that mean? Would I be 50 years old, rapping about things I should have did or could have did? That thought was devastating to think about. So I just didn't do it. And then one day it happened. Ding! It's my friend Davon, and it's my friend Davon who's a producer in Atlanta, and he says, bro, I think you can do this. So I opened up the message and it said, the United States Army Field Band is looking for a rap R&B artist. I said, yo, no. There's no way the Army wants a rapper. More or less, do they even do music? It confused me. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, I'm not even a person the military would even want. Never, ever, 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 ever. I'm a rapper. I am a rebel by nature. If you give me an order, just because you said it, I probably won't do it. If you tell me to go stand over there, I'll probably smile and run over there. If you tell me to stand at attention, I'll probably start smiling and start doing a little move. Just to get under your skin. But as I thought about it, I looked up and I was like, looked at my surroundings, I'm stuck. And then I thought about it. What if this was something I could really do? What if this was something I never saw coming, but could be the catalyst I need to change something in my life? Because I needed it and I needed it bad. So I called up my engineer, Garrett, and I said, hey man, the Army's looking for a rapper. And after he stopped laughing at me, I said, I'm serious. Look, this is what they're asking for. Apparently it's audition focused, and I just need to send in a song that describes my background. So I hung up and we went into the studio, right? And in my mind, I'm like, I don't think I can curse. And I'm a secular rapper, and I kind of say what I want to say, right? So how do I position myself in a way where I won't scare anybody off? In the first round, it went a little something like this. My name is Nicco, I come from Southern Maryland. It's time to serve the Army with passion, purpose, and words that rhyme. Got my degrees in Atlanta, Georgia State with the school. I knew it wasn't for me, cause my man raised a fool. I got in shape after college, I lost a bunch of weight. Shifted my focus to soul music, I couldn't wait. I talk about mental struggles and the music is true. Let's just be honest, this mental health is all that I do. a storyteller with over 15 years in his job, and I can write about any topic you need me on. Hope it's clear on the vision. I'm a fighter at heart, but discipline in my veins, sacrifices in art. Yeah. And I sent in the video. About a month goes by, I get an email back, and it says, we want to hear you for round 2. In my mind, all the floodgates open. I said, yes! Round 2 came, and this was where they really tested us, right? They're like, okay, we know you can express yourself. Now, how can you take what we want to express and what you want to express and marry? So some of you may know this, but the Army had a campaign a while ago called The Calling, where they talked about the person behind the uniform. Who are the people who wear the uniform every day, right? And I thought about it, and I was like, dang, okay, what can I say? And then I thought about it. Music itself was my calling. And I think that I could be a storyteller and help tell the narratives of veterans and active duty soldiers. And that went a little something like this. Let's just be honest, I'm gonna take you back to the past. How music became my calling, something I had to have. An insecure little boy who really missed his father, who sat back in his room, didn't want to be bothered. Raised alone with his mother, she ain't know what to do. She had to work all the time, so loneliness ensued. I started writing my feelings out to deal with this life. When both my parents disappeared, I wasn't feeling right. I started failing in school. I really didn't listen. These academics never spoke to me, felt I was different. So I took another path, moved alone to Atlanta. I forced myself through undergrad, I struggled for answers. The music never took off, despite all of my effort. It took me all that I had not to crumble from pressure. Real life hit me young, so many times I failed. But I got it all out the trenches, it made me tough as nails. And then I sent that in. About another month goes by. Another email. We want to see you for a Royal Rumble style American Idol audition process. Out of 100 plus 50 artists, you've been selected for the last 6. I said, oh my God. So of course, this was a nationwide thing. They fly all these people in, and I'm down the street, so I just drove up to Fort Meade. Of course, I took the hotel stay though. So I'm in this bunker, right? And mind you, I'm a civilian. I don't know anything about this. We're downstairs in the field band office. And I'm like, I don't really see any instruments. And I thought it was interesting. They kept us in the same room, but we were separated in terms of how we sounded. So I didn't know what anybody else sounded like. These last few rounds were all about singing, rapping, talking about the flag, talking about how to perform with other ensembles and choruses. And I was like, okay, let's do this. So the third round comes, and I'm in front of about 50 or 60 military personnel, all wearing COVID masks. I can't even see anyone's face. And I'm like, what is going on here? So mind you, I go into one of my best songs. It's called Let's Just Be Honest, where I talk about a girl I got nervous talking to, and I tell the whole story from start to finish. And there's a punchline in the song that goes over well with any crowd. It's always my go-to song. And in the song, I talk about how I was nervous to talk to her. When I finally worked up the courage, we follow each other on social media. I checked the social media, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I did it. I'm gonna talk to this girl. Come to find out, she was gay. I said, you went through all that just to find out something. So I say the line, right? And I say, da-da-da-da, and I found out that she's gay. Usually people laugh, they love it, right? And they just went like this. And as a performer, when I tell you that is one of the awkwardest moments I've ever had, but I'm in the middle of the song, I gotta keep going. So I said, okay, that didn't work. I'm rapping this whole time and thinking this, right? I said, put your hands up. If you look at the video, there's one guy in the back. And I'm like, oh my God, they hate me. This cannot be real. So that was probably one of the more highlighted rounds, but it took about 8 hours. And they narrowed it, and after that performance, they narrowed it down from 6, and the sergeant major comes down the room, right? And he's got his little posse, he's walking like this, right? And I'm like, what is up with these guys? So out of the 6 that were there, they said, we would like to see Mr. Feimster and Mr. Lamar Riddick. When I tell you my heart fell into my feet, I was like, oh my God, I'm down to the last 2. This is insane. I cannot tell you how much stress I felt in that moment. So then me and Lamar go back and forth. They pull him up, do his performance, I go and I do mine. And I do a really heartfelt song called Catharsis, where I talk about how rap is my calling, how I almost failed in it, and just this is my chance, right? We go back down. I see Lamar in the waiting room. They're waiting. So we both finished our rounds at this point. And I'm sitting there, I'm looking at him. When we start talking, we're like, it's taking him an awful long time. So I get to know him in this process, right? And we're like, yo, since it's taking so long, why don't we see if we can pitch doing it together? That's a lot to put on one person to start a brand new rap program in the military. So we thought about it. So yeah, it's cool. We'll talk about it, right? So I get pulled up for another interview separately, and I talk to the colonel. And, I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is okay. And then we get back downstairs, right? And another couple hours goes by, and I'm just like, oh my God, I can't take this stress. And after that, the door swings wide open. And here comes the colonel. Very charismatic guy. And he's down with an even bigger posse, right? And he's just walking and walking and walking. And then he comes down, he goes like this. He looks at both of us, and I'm like, why are you being so dramatic? Come on, man. And he looks at Lamar and he says, Lamar Riddick, we love you. We think you did a great job. We want to offer you the position. And in my mind, I was like, wow, after all of that, I didn't get it. And I started to think about what my life was going to look like if I didn't get this, and it scared me. The colonel turns to me and he's just like, Mr. Feemster, we also want to offer you the position. I said, no! And I hugged this man that I just met. We started jumping up and down and hugging each other. Before I know it, I'm like, oh. Congratulations. And that was how I inevitably, in the craziest way possible, achieved my dream and became the first rapper ever hired in military history.